It had been years since Mayra's parents left for the Himalayas. Finding Yetis wasn't everyone's cup of tea. But Ajoba was building something. A machine. A machine that hummed when no one touched it. No one knew what it was meant to do. But Kali listened. Some signals travel farther than we think. Years ago, Ajoba and Aji received a letter. It arrived without explanation, and it carried only a warning. Never open the box. And if you open it, never touch the golden stone inside. If a child ever holds the stone, never let an old woman knock on your door. And if she arrives, it will be too late. Ajoba tried to find the woman who sent it, but she had died within a week of posting the letter. In the corner of the storeroom, behind the broken machines and forgotten parts, inside an old cupboard, the wooden box waited. The cupboard was always locked, but that afternoon it was not. And Rohan was curious. He had heard the warning. He knew the rule. Never open the box. He told himself he wouldn't. He almost walked away. Almost. But the curiosity won. The words were clear. He ignored them. And he opened it anyway. Inside there was only a small stone, warm, golden, quiet. He let it rest in his palm. And then, it wasn't in his hand anymore. But the warmth remained, lingering in his palm. Faint, alive. Mayra said nothing, but she felt it too. The room felt different. It was then that Kali's growl vibrated through the glass. It wasn't anger. It wasn't fear. It was warning. Her ears were stretched forward. Her body low, listening. Something beyond the smashing rain. Clouds thundered across the sky, and the rain poured down. The lightning struck. And then, something moved. Long, dark, coiled, watching. A large snake, hood raised on the wet floor, water sliding off its scales. It moved toward the door. Kali moved faster. Hissing tangled with thunder, the glass door trembled. Rain hammered the tiles. Then, silence. The snake lay motionless on the balcony. Kali walked past the still body. She turned toward the children. "You shouldn't have seen that." The voice came from the storm, from the cat. Rohan's breath caught. "You can talk?" "This isn't about me." She looked at Rohan. "You shouldn't have touched the stone." The morning after the storm, everything looked normal. The balcony was quiet. The snake was gone. Kali lay in the sun, as if the storm had never touched this house. In the kitchen, Ajoba read his newspaper. Aji poured tea. They spoke of ordinary things. No one mentioned the stone. And Kali did not speak. Life returned to normal. Almost. Then came Diwali. The house glowed with lamps and marigolds. The air smelled of sweets, and just when everything felt brightest. The old woman stood there. Kali stiffened. The low growl rose from her throat. "Take her outside," Aji said. Kali refused to move. After a moment of struggle, Rohan finally pulled her outside. The old woman sat on the sofa. She smiled, a slow, polite smile. She greeted Aji warmly. The stone in her ring shone brighter. The old woman spoke as if they were old friends. Aji listened as if she agreed. Then Ajoba hurried in. "The box," he began. "The stone is gone. Don't open the door if someone—" "Hello," the old woman said calmly. Her hand lifted slightly. The ring flickered again. Ajoba stopped mid-sentence. He blinked. "Happy Diwali," he finished quickly. "What stone?" Aji asked. "What stone?" Ajoba echoed. Mayra stared at him. "The stone," she said. "You just mentioned it." Ajoba shook his head. "No." The air shifted, thinner, as if something invisible had just been removed. "I'll ask Rohan," Mayra said. He knew about it. Aji looked at her. "Who's Rohan?" Mayra froze. "My brother, Rohan?" Her grandparents exchanged a quiet glance. Concerned. "Mayra," Aji said softly, "you don't have a brother." No one laughed. No one seemed confused. The old woman quietly slipped out the door. No one noticed her leave, except Mayra. Ajoba and Aji truly believed she never had a brother. But Mayra remembered every fight, every game, every laugh. Rohan was real. All she had to do was go outside and bring him back home. It was Diwali evening when Mayra stepped out of the house. The garden, the street, the houses nearby. Rohan was nowhere. Kali had disappeared too. The celebration outside continued, but Mayra kept searching. Still, Rohan didn't come back. By morning, Mayra knew something was wrong. She knew she needed a plan. So she started with the storeroom, just in case. Late afternoon, the storeroom door creaked open. Dust floated in the light. Empty. No Rohan. No footsteps. No sound. Only the quiet hum of the house. She called his friends. Confused voices answered. Rohan who? The words didn't make sense. Her chest tightened. She lowered the phone. If no one remembered him, she would make them remember. Beside her, the printer began humming. 4 p.m. Warm Diwali light filled the lane. Posters on gates, on fences, on tree trunks. No sign of Rohan. Dusk. She walked back through the lane. The posters ripped down the middle. The Diwali lights still glowed, but the street felt colder now. Someone had done this. At the end of the lane, the street lamp glowed. And the cat was tearing paper. Kali, what are you doing? Mayra's voice was quiet. Kali's ears twitched. And if you want to find him, don't mention him here. The air shifted. The street lamp hummed louder. The shadows stretched. Before Mayra could speak, the cat leapt through the broken window. This was the moment. She followed. The back door opened from inside. Darkness waited. Mayra stepped in. A candle flickered to life. Cold air brushing her skin. Slow steps. The corridor seemed longer than any house should hold. Then, a dead end. Nowhere to go. Only cracked plaster. Only silence. The cat lifted her paw, touched the wall. The crack split through the quiet. Light spilled through the darkness. Cold air rushed in. Mayra didn't move. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, the wall opened. Blinding light. Daylight. A clear river. Mist drifting above the water. Cottages built upon giant trunks. Trees rising into the sky. Another world. Mayra stepped forward. Behind her, the abandoned house still lived in night. One doorway, two worlds, and somewhere between them, the truth. The cottage was small but comfortable. A little kitchen, a living room, and a balcony that opened toward a quiet river. But something in the air felt strange. A sharp, pungent smell filled the room, one Mayra remembered from the garlic farm her grandfather had once shown her. As her eyes wandered around the cottage, she noticed something odd on the wall. A pig's head, carved from wood and painted pink, hung quietly beside the shelves. Bundles of garlic hung everywhere from the ceiling beams. Kali stood calmly beside the stove while the kettle gently boiled over the fire. Mayra walked toward the window. Outside, the sun stood high above the forest. The river moved slowly through the trees, and a small garden of purple flowers grew beside the cottage. "My sisters will be here soon," Kali said quietly. Mayra sat at the table and waited. A few moments later, two cats walked into the cottage. One was large and gray with white stripes. The other was smaller, brown, and slender, with bright blue eyes. Kali quietly began telling them everything. About the strange stone, the old woman who had appeared at the house, and Rohan's sudden disappearance. The cats listened in silence. Then, without a word, they reached for garlic cloves from the kitchen trolley and began chewing them. The gray cat looked like she might throw up. The brown one coughed and made a strange choking sound. Only Kali chewed calmly, as if nothing unusual was happening. Suddenly, smoke began rising from the floor. Black smoke, gray smoke, and brown smoke. The clouds twisted together, filling the cottage with a sharp, burning smell. Mayra covered her mouth as she watched the strange scene. Slowly, the smoke began to fade. Mayra watched in shock. The cats were gone, and standing in the middle of the room were three women. The woman in the black dress felt strangely familiar. Then Mayra understood. It was Kali, the same black cat who had lived with her for years. Kali introduced her sisters. The woman in a brown gown with a blue bandana was Kamini, and the one in the gray dress was Kairavi, the eldest sister. The sisters leaned closer, studying her hair, her hands, even her teeth. It was the first time a human child had discovered the secret of their world. "You weren't afraid of the dark?" Kamini asked. "I was, but I have to find my brother," Mayra said softly. Kali closed the door, thinking, in a world this big, Rohan could be anywhere. Mayra looked around the strange wooden cottage. "What kind of place is this?" Mayra asked. Kamini pulled aside a curtain on the wall, revealing a glowing painting of cats and humans together. "It's the world of lost cats," she said proudly. Cats live two lives. A one life everyone can see, the life of paws and fur. But hidden beneath it, there is another, a human life. Mayra stared at them. "So all cats can do this?" Kamini shook her head. "Not many. Most cats forgot the secret long ago. But a few still remember. We are among them." Mayra took a breath. "Tell me about the woman who took my brother." "An outlaw," Kali said. "A cat who refuses to follow the rules of our world." What would an outlaw want with her brother, Kamini wondered. That was when Kali mentioned the snake. Not an ordinary snake. One of the snake guards of the Crawler Queen. But the crawler queen died long ago, Kairavi frowned. Which meant only one thing. Someone else was now commanding the snake guards. Kamini didn't like that idea. This was a serious matter. It needed the attention of the Cats' Council. Kali removed the wall-mounted pig head, revealing a small hidden window behind it. A small wooden box was placed inside a hidden window and set on fire. The flames swallowed it instantly. Mayra watched in confusion, wondering what they were doing. When someone sends a memo like that, Kamini explained, the pig head will oink to inform the others. Ready for the meeting? Kali said hopefully, closing the secret window. Let's hope they hear us and come to help. Kairavi sighed. Is there a problem? Why won't they come? Mayra wondered. The last time we visited the market, Kamini told Mayra, we bought almost all the garlic, and they were not very happy about it. Mayra glanced upward. Garlic bulbs hung from the ceiling. Kali bit her nail nervously. They must have forgotten about the garlic haul. Right? Evening settled over the cottage. Lights flickered on. Kali checked the secret window. Again and again. Still no reply. Anyone hungry? Kamini asked. I'm starving. She grabbed a toy phone and dialed. Mayra frowned. That's a toy. You can't actually call from that, right? Kairavi smiled. Of course you can. It's made for one thing. Ordering pizza. A few minutes later, Mama Maya's pizza had arrived. 2 large boxes. Kali checked the secret window yet again, but there was still no reply. Meanwhile, the sisters were focused on the pizza. This is the best pizza in town, Kairavi said. Mama Maya knows her spices, Kamini added. Mayra took a bite. Warm. Cheesy. Perfect. Then Kairavi told Mayra, you should try the fish hot pizza. The fish dance on the bread. But you have to eat it at her shop, Kamini added. You need to finish it before the fish jumps off the bread. Mayra froze. Slowly, she went back to her slice. Regular pizza felt safer. Later that night, they sat on the balcony sipping tea. Across the river, a glowing sign lit up the night. Mama Maya's Pizza. Crowds filled the space. Mama Maya is also a cat, Kairavi explained. The most respected cat woman in the town. Mayra stared at the shop. The world of lost cats was much bigger than she imagined. Cats like us, Kairavi said, we live 2 lives. We transform using ingredients. Garlic works for us. But others, tea dust, pumpkin seeds, mangoes. Different cats, different ingredients. Kamini stepped onto the balcony, holding a glowing slate. Something that reminded Mayra of a tablet. She scrolled through Whisker Book, a world meant only for cats. That's interesting, Mayra said softly. You know Mama Maya, Kamini continued. She uses tea dust. That's what helps her transform. Mayra looked toward Mama Maya's shop. So, if not all cats use garlic, they shouldn't be angry with you, right? Then why aren't they replying? They think we broke a rule, Kairavi said. Though there was no written rule, they said it was a breach of moral conduct. But we can still try, right? Mayra said. Can't you just call them? She glanced at the glowing slate in Kamini's hands. Kamini shook her head. We could, but then everyone would know. Even the wrong ones. Outlaws? Exactly. Then suddenly, Kairavi stood up. Look. Across the river, a column of red smoke rose from Mama Maya's shop. Then, the pig head echoed from inside the kitchen. Kali's voice followed. We have a reply. The hidden window opened. The box untouched, as if it had never burned. Kali lifted the lid. Golden light flickered across her face. It's Mama Maya and Shara. Shara, Mayra asked. He works with Mama Maya. Remember the toy order phone? He built it. Now we can begin, Kamini added. Begin what? Mayra asked. They had agreed. They were going to perform a ritual. Kali told Mayra. This changes everything, Kali said quietly. We have one chance. You want to find your brother, right? All you have to do is draw his face perfectly. Mayra blinked. She wasn't good at drawing, but she didn't say it. What could a bad drawing really do, right? She didn't know. She was in a world where even the smallest mistakes mattered. The next morning felt normal, too normal. Sunlight warmed the cottage. Breakfast was quiet. Until they saw the drawing. The sketch of her brother wasn't him. Eyes too round, nose too large, smile forced, and the hair curly. Rohan never had curls. This isn't him. Kali looked at Mayra. I tried my best, Mayra said. The room fell silent. The air grew heavier. I don't get this, Mayra sighed. The box, the stone, and now the ritual. It was then Kali told her. It wasn't just a stone. It grants wishes. It has healing properties. Some say it can bring back the dead, Kairavi said. Your mother found it. Mayra blinked. Her fingers tightened slightly. And my mother? It was for the first time Kali had mentioned it. She found the stone in Andaman while chasing a red-bellied rat. That night, the snakes came. They invaded the tent. I told her to get rid of it. So she threw it into the river. But someone brought it back. But how did it end up in my house? Mayra asked. The old owner bought it, Kali explained. From Chor Bazaar. And then she forgot about it. Until she sold the house. We convinced her to send the letter. A warning. Because the stone bonds with children. The letter, her grandparents. The house, it was all connected. And Kali was determined to find a solution. That's what brought them to the ancient banyan tree. 3 keys, 3 locks, one for each sister. The door opened. Inside, a passage, long, endless. How big is this tree? Mayra wondered. As big as it needs to be, Kamini replied. Mayra kept walking. The walls were lined with windows, tall, narrow, sealed shut. The air felt different here, heavy, mushy, unfamiliar. Cast iron lamps flickered along the walls. Golden light stretched across the cold stone floor. Time passed, or maybe it didn't. There was no way to tell. And then, something shifted. The light gathered. The walls widened. A door stood before them. Massive, metal, waiting. It opened into a hall. A large table at the center. Glowing patterns traced the floor. It wasn't the only table. At one of them, 2 figures were waiting. Mayra recognized Mama Maya, the one who makes the strange fish hop pizza, and Shara, the inventor who designed the toy pizza ordering phones. "You're late," Shara said, unimpressed. "No, you're early," Kamini replied calmly. "A human child, eh?" Shara remarked. The stone has been uncovered. Kali didn't waste time with greetings. Their faces turned serious. Mama Maya said nothing. She already knew what it meant. The dark mass she had encountered years ago had returned, and this time it had the stone